Yo, what's going on, guys? So I'm here now. Today we're going to talk about World of Warcraft Classic, and I'm going to chat about this while playing on my Dark Iron Dwarf, so you can watch me do some questing and just chilling in the background on my Dark Iron Dwarf. So we're going to talk about if Classic is, well, if the hype is real pretty much. That's going to be the main topic for today. I'm also going to talk about gold making in Classic and just my plans for Classic in general. So right now, the hype for Classic, is it really real? And in my case, from my perspective, I would say yes and no. The thing is, the reason why people are hyped for Classic, I feel, is because of nostalgia and how everything was back then. And the thing is, the average MMO player has evolved, or I don't know how to say that, but like become something entirely different, because back in Classic, or back in Vanilla, whatever you want to call it, there was a huge sense of teamwork and like guilds, and just the community as a whole was a whole different thing. Everyone was like experiencing a whole different genre of games, and everyone was just like exploring together. There was no sense of, oh, I gotta do this first, and like I have to be very fast at leveling. I have to be very productive and do everything very, very fast so I can do as much as possible in as short a time as possible. And I feel like that's the main point now in MMOs in general, just leveling fast, doing world first, if it's like world first alchemist max level, even though that's not really an achievement, but some people want to be the first on their server or the first in the world to do certain things. And there's like world first raiding, world first battleground rating, and so on. It's just like a race for everything, I feel like, and even though there's no more world first and realm first like achievements for leveling, people still level in a rush because they want to level before their friends, their guildmates, and just people on their server. They want to be the first one to reach max level. And with World of Warcraft Classic, I feel like it's going to be the same thing. People will rush to level, to be max level. They will rush their gearing process and just gear up as fast as possible, complete the raids as fast as possible, instead of just having fun, chilling, and exploring the game, which is what, well, Vanilla was back in the day, and stuff took time. And I feel like even though they release Classic, it's going to still be the grind. Like, the mentality of the average MMO player is not going to change that much because of Classic being released, I feel like, but that's just me. It could be an entirely different scenario once Classic actually goes live, but the thing is, just the whole toxicity in the community and stuff is just not going to change because of one server being Classic. It's just not going to happen, I feel like, and just, I don't know how to say it, but the morals and just the standards of an MMO player, the average one, of course, like, it's not going to be everyone, but the average MMO player has become something different now than back in vanilla days, and it's much more like rushed and grinding as much as possible, being as effective as possible, and doing everything you can to progress, whatever like your progress is. If you're like focusing on PvP, PvE, gold making, or whatever, it's always about being as effective as possible and trying not to waste a single minute, because, well, I don't know, if you're exploring for 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes technically being wasted because you're not technically being productive or effective. And I feel like MMOs are supposed to, like, you should be able to just explore and have fun and not just always try to be effective and just, you know, productive. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just feels to me that way, that most people are trying to rush things and just, I don't know. But at the same time, I do feel like the talent system and like the game in general in Classic is very hype. The hype for that is indeed real, but just the whole thing, the whole nostalgia is not going to come back because it was a whole different community back then, and it's just way different now. But the gameplay is going to be nostalgic. It's going to be really fun to play again, and even though some people probably have played on private servers, it's just going to be a whole different thing because this is legal. It's World of Warcraft Classic. It's a Classic server made by Blizzard, which is just nostalgic in itself, and, well, getting all the, well, zones and all the gameplay from vanilla in one server, which we haven't really had legally, and it's just going to be sick in my opinion. I can't wait to try some different classes because, well, in Classic I only played 2 classes, Hunter and Rogue, So I'm probably going to try something different this time around, probably going to level a Warlock or a Shaman. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I'm not sure. I would want to level a Warlock because having that pet or a demon to help you when you level seems to be kind of ideal, just to not die too often, but at the same time it would be fun to try something different, maybe a mage. I do know that I don't want to be just a caster like a mage, and I don't want to be a rogue or a hunter because I have played those already. I mean, I shouldn't say that I don't want to be a caster like a mage, because Warlock is pretty much a mage, but with different spells. But I would love to be a mage if mages had a demon that could tank for them, just like Warlocks has, which is why Warlock might be the best fit for me. But before I make a decision on what class to play, I do need to do some research because I haven't tried any of them. I might buy the virtual ticket, but the thing is about the virtual ticket is you can only play in Westfall and the Barrens, and you're going to start at level 15, and it's going to be capped at level 19. Well, this is kind of perfect for trying out classes because you will be starting at level 15 and you will then be able to choose a specialization and you get some talent points and you will have a ton of different spells. So if you're looking to try out some classes and just like trying out what's best for you, then I think buying the virtual ticket might be good because, well, you're starting at level 15, you can only level 4 levels, which gives you a good opportunity to try out different classes and just making different ones and playing them all. And just trying to level the quests and just exploring the zones. And I don't know, it's kind of good and bad that they capped the level at 19 because, well, it's kind of focused on reporting bugs in those 2 zones, which I think is good. And also you will have more abilities and you have a talent and so on. So I think it's better that they do this than giving us like level 1 to 10 or 1 to 15, because when you're 15 you actually have stuff to play around with your class. So I think being level 15 plus is good, but that's kind of it for the hype is real. I think it's like a yes and no. And the same thing goes for BlizzCon as well. It's a yes and no thing. People are kinda, some are happy, some are sad that they capped the level at 19 and that you start at level 15, because for some people the nostalgia is kind of starting at level 1 and actually having difficulties leveling up from 1 to 10. Like you can die several times just in the time span of level 1 to 5 as well. So yeah, it's just kind of the hype is really yes and no really, it's depending on how you look at things. But as of my plans in Classic, is I'm going to try to make as many gold guides as possible, and I'm going to try to put myself in a state of mind, or like I'm going to try to do as much, well, exploring as possible and just digging in and finding out different ways of making gold in Classic and how to spend gold, how to like spend gold to make gold and so on, how to invest and what to invest in. And my plan in the beginning is to make as many profession guides as possible, leveling guides, and well, yeah, profession guides, profession leveling guides, profession gold guides, and just class guides, maybe leveling guides in general as well. And that's kind of my plan going into Classic. I'm not sure when that's going to happen though, because, well, apparently, according to one of the previous game designers of Blizzard, he did say that he anticipated Classic to be out in 2021, which is 3 years away, so I hope that's not the case, because waiting 3 years for Classic, no thank you. I want it to be like by next year if possible, but I don't think that's gonna happen, but by 2020 maybe. Hopefully it's going to be towards the end of BFA when there's like a dead period or dead time, or downtime probably of the game, so we have something to do in the meantime while waiting for a new expansion, which would be probably preferable by Blizzard as well, to give it to us during that time. So yeah, my plan going into Classic is just to have a ton of fun and make some gold guides in Classic. And the thing is, I don't know this, I haven't really done that much research on this subject, but if Classic offers WoW tokens, I'm not sure how they would work, because, well, on all servers right now, they are all the same price. Like, if it's 300k for a WoW token on my server, it's going to be 300k on your server as well, as long as you're in the same region, so European and North America. We have different prices, but as well, I'm in the European region. If you're in the European region, then the price for the WoW token is going to be the same on your realm as it's going to be on my realm. But if you want to, let's say WoW tokens are a thing in Classic, and or Classic realms, or realm, depending on how they do this, hopefully you will get the option to make a character on a classic realm on your current subscription, so you don't have to pay 2 subscriptions just to have like 1 retail and 1 classic. That would be horrible. So hopefully you can do both from the same account and just run it all with 1 subscription. And if that's the case, and they add the WoW token function for classic, so you can actually make gold to kind of make money for Battle.net, if you know what I mean. You can just turn those WoW tokens into Battle.net currency. If that's the case, then 300k on a classic server is going to be very, very difficult to make, because the thing is, raw gold only really comes from vendoring items, and vendoring items comes from questing, looting garbage, selling garbage, and mostly doing raids and dungeons to vendor garbage from there. And during Classic we don't really have that many raids or dungeons that we can just farm to vendor garbage for gold, so 300k is gonna be way more worth way more on Classic than on other servers. So if they're going to give us a WoW token on Classic servers, they would have to be way cheaper. I would say, I don't even know, in the beginning I would suppose a WoW token could go for 100 gold, because somebody would desperately want that, I don't know, something enchant for the weapon or something, and there's this one enchanter that can make it, and he's charging something ridiculous, like 100 gold, which is ridiculous, or something, 200 gold, 1k, I don't even know, and he's charging that, and somebody really wants it, and they have no gold, they sell a WoW token, they get their gold, and the person who just, well, yeah. So they get their gold by buying a WoW token, selling it on the auction house, and the guy buying it is using it for whatever he's using it for. If it's subscription or whatever, it's just gonna be, if it's gonna cost 300k, it's gonna be insane. They have to adjust the price if that's the case, but adding WoW tokens to Classic would make Classic not feel classic. I'm not sure if that made any sense, but to me it kinda did. We didn't have WoW tokens back in Classic, which is why I don't think we should have them now. But the same thing can be said for Battle.net Friends system as well, which we currently do have, and which is almost certainly confirmed to be carried over into Classic. Because, I don't know why, but it's going to be carried over, the Battle.net Friends system and the social system is going to be carried over into Classic, which is going to make Classic feel a tiny bit less classic, but it's still going to be the same. Kind of. So they could do the same with the WoW token as well, carrying that over into Classic and just adjusting the price, but it would make the Classic server feel kinda less vanilla, but I'm not really sure. I'm kinda hoping they do add it though, because it's kind of the one reason that I really enjoy farming gold, so I can spend that gold on WoW tokens to either do a character transfer, realm transfer, character realm transfer, same thing, or a faction transfer, or whatever. If it's to make gold or just to move servers or move factions, I kind of like having that currency in Battle.net without using my real money, so it's kind of like money that I've made through the game that I spend on the game, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of hoping they do add the WoW tokens to Classic,
Be careful.
but at the same time I'm not really sure if they're going to. But that's kind of it for this video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and well, let's continue this in the comments. If you have anything to add, then let me know. If there's any information that I've missed, then let me know. And my plan is, for these upcoming videos about WoW Classic before Classic actually comes out, is to just level my Dark Iron Dwarf in the background, and just chat around Classic and my ideas. So let me know if you like this format, and if you want me to keep showing myself leveling the Dark Iron Dwarf, if you want me to show you doing battlegrounds, raiding, whatever else in the background, or if this is good enough. So yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then leave a like, leave a sub, and I'll see you around. Peace.